Welcome back to another Attack on Titan review, everybody. Thank you guys for the feedback that you gave me on volumes 21 and 22, which I really did enjoy doing the live reactions of. I thought that was pretty fun. Just a different way to kind of shake it up and do the reviews a little bit differently every now and then. So I think it's definitely something I'm going to do more of. I'm going to try to do it on the more kind of bigger reveal volumes, I guess, like that, the more reaction worthy ones. So you guys let me know which ones those are, and then I'll incorporate that into the review series. Other than that, we are going to do our typical standard normal. I read the volume, kind of reflect on it, think about it, and do a review of it, like this one, which I read last night, but I just was not in a state of mind to which I could accurately review it. I was feeling really tired to begin with, and then also there was things happening in this volume that I definitely had to take a moment to step back and think about. And that's one of the things with Attack on Titan. I will say that thank you guys for keeping me on track and keeping me on board with everything that's happening in the series, because there's definitely things that I do miss. And I will say that it is one of the harder series to kind of keep everything on track, at least in my brain. I don't know if there's something wrong with my mind or whatnot, but there's always a reveal every couple of chapters in Attack on Titan. So like keeping everything on track, on board with everything that's happening in the plot, I definitely appreciate you guys letting me know the little details that I missed or that I flub up or anything like that to keep me kind of in line with what's happening with the series, because there's always a ton of information and a ton of twists and turns and reveals, and everything that happens in this series is just absolutely crazy. You wouldn't think that you would get a volume like this back in like volumes 2 or 3. So this volume takes place entirely with the Marley group. So now that we are aware that there is a world beyond the Paradise Island that we knew of, and that was the biggest twist, at least so far. I'm sure there's more to come in Attack on Titan, in that everything that we knew that we thought was the world was actually taking place on just a small island, and the world is much larger and is being taken over by the country of Marley, the group of people called the Marleyans. Now, when this volume started off, I was pretty damn confused, because I was under the impression, and again, this is one of those little details that I missed, that Marley already did kind of control, was the dominant world power that was happening in the world, that they were basically in control of pretty much everything, and then kept the Eldians in their little secluded segment, you know, behind their cage, behind their barrier, and then did the brainwashing and kind of political propaganda and all of that to keep everybody in line with let Marley thrive as much as possible, which is a great aspect of the series to throw in there. However, I was wrong, and apparently there is much more of the world beyond just Marley and the Eldians, and there are other countries and other places like that that exist within the Attack on Titan universe. We got a kind of a world map, or at least one image of one in one of the chapters in this volume. So I did not realize in the beginning of this volume, when Marley was fighting against trying to take over this base, this command base. At first I thought it was just like a training regiment, and then I thought, well, are they fighting the Eldians? But then I was like, I thought they already subdued the Eldians. So my boy Randers on Discord, thank you dude, set me straight and helped me figure this out, and that no, Marley is still in the process of kind of becoming this global world power, and they have been using the Titans to do this. And so they indoctrinate people from Eldia, the people that can turn into Titans, and kind of brainwash them and manipulate them and tell them how great it would be to be a warrior and to, you know, use this curse within them for the greater good, you know, telling them that this part of them is wrong, this piece of them is wrong, their heritage, their lineage, whatever, but they can redeem themselves by becoming this great warrior, is what they call it. And it's all propaganda and manipulation and brainwashing, and it's pretty fucked up, especially when we get into Reiner's backstory, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So after I kind of got around my initial confusion, I saw the idea of what they were trying to display here with taking over this base. The idea is that Marley has been using the power of the Titans. They've been using other people. They've been subjugating other people to become the warriors, to use the Titans for their benefit. Which is already, you know, all sorts of kind of messed up. But like I said, it's the power scheme that shifted, because supposedly the Titans were the big bad rulers before. But ironically, they still are. So they're using the Titans for the benefit of Marley, and have been using that to kind of become this world power. But in the meantime, since they've been relying on the Titans so much, it appears that there have been technological advances in the rest of the world. So there are other places in the world that are advancing their technology, and it looks like we're kind of like up to a little bit past like World War II era type technology, and a little bit beyond that, the armored tankers and everything like that. And these things, this was able to take down the armored titan, take down Reiner, who stepped in front of our furry titan friend Zeke to take that shot, and it put him down. And they kind of realized, even though they did win the base in the end, by raining titans out of the sky, which was a glorious sight to see. This was a great battle tactic. If you don't have bombs to drop, just drop titans. This is my philosophy in life now. So that was cool. I really like that. I like that idea. I kind of like the mixing of the two, mixing the technology and kind of standard war things that we would think to see when we see like a war movie or war story or anything like that, and then just throwing the mythological on top of it. So literally throwing titans, like throwing the mythology on top, literally, of the technology. That probably wasn't meant to be a specific visual, but that's what I got out of it. It's like, let's just throw the supernatural on top of the technological. So I thought that was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, they did win the base. And what they realized was that, as the world has been advancing their technology and we've been relying on the Titans, we are at a disadvantage here, or we are about to become at a disadvantage because, the Titan powers, we know what they are, and it can only take us so far. And there was also a bit of a time skip here, about 4 years, which I noticed Reiner was kind of growing his beard, becoming a little more manly. As you guys can see, I lost mine. It was just annoying me. But don't worry, it will be back. The beard will return. It's never gone for good. It grows way too fucking fast, really. Anyways, so a bit of a time skip have happened here, and it seems as though all the ships, everything that they have sent to the Paradise Island have been destroyed. So it seems like everybody in our character group, even though we don't see them in this volume, we kind of understand that they have been taking this very seriously, and that they have been kind of protecting their own island from any kind of intrusion from Marley, which makes me wonder, have they expanded out beyond the walls now? If they have been taking down the Titans, if they have the Titan powers, Eren has 2 of the powers within him, and then we have the Colossus Titan, and does somebody have the female Titan power now? We don't know if it's still Annie. You guys know. I say we. I don't know. But they've basically been kind of keeping their island safe. So I'm wondering, when we flash back to the island, if we're going to see, the walls kind of torn down and them expanding, taking over the entire island for humanity, or, humanity, Eldians, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But beyond all that, we don't get to see any of that. What we see here is Zeke. And he is saying that he wants to go back and continue their takeover of the island. That the founding Titan will help them in this cause, and that they should advance their technology, but it's going to take them, time in order to do this. And in the meantime, other countries are also going to be advancing theirs, so they need to take any opportunity that they can have to have whatever advantage they can have, and obtaining all the Titan powers seems to be the best way to go about this. Now, if I got this right, it seems like both sides have 4 Titan powers, and there's the missing 9th one, right? So the group that we know, that we're used to, Eren has the attack, right? And he has the founder, and then Armin is the Colossus Titan, and then the female Titan might still be Annie. I don't know, but it's at least on the island. So that's 4. And with Marley, they have Armored, they have the Ymir one, which was taken by a new character, the Cart one, and the Beast Titan, right? So that's 4. So they both have 4. So right now they're very evenly matched, which was probably done by design. Now the 9th one is still kind of up in the air. You guys probably know what it is, or where it is, or who it is, but right now we didn't get that. So it seems like they're evenly matched, so another invasion will definitely prove probably to be a pretty intense battle between Titans versus Titans. There's a lot more happening in this volume, of course, so we are introduced to a whole gaggle of new characters, of which I don't remember all their names. I know Gallagher, or no, Galliar, I can't quite remember his name. You guys let me know, correct me in the comments. But he is the one that took Ymir. So he has her ability now, he has her powers now. And I knew that Ymir had died because of everything that kind of happened, like her last message to Historia and everything, but now it is like very deeply confirmed. We saw her chained up just the same way that they chained up Eren before in order to pass on a Titan power. So like, it's just now it's just like the nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? Like, you knew Ymir was gone, but now seeing that and having that confirmation and seeing somebody else with her ability, kind of just really puts it as in like, damn, like she's out, she's gone. All right. The other Titan, which was the four-legged awkward cart thing, whatever. It's such an awkward looking thing. So that was taken. That has not taken, but that belongs to another character whose name I can't quite remember at the time, but she seems very kind of like lost in a daze, you know, that she's been doing this Titan thing, or has been in her Titan form for a very long time. And so I'm curious about that character. We don't get a lot of her, but I'm very curious about that character. The character that ate Ymir, he seems to very much resent Reiner for everything that happened with his infiltration and whatnot, and he seems to be a very like by the book warrior, like very much, you know, for Marley, doing all of these things specifically for his just cause, and he doesn't look like he's willing to take any bullshit or deal with any bullshit, and you know, he kind of sees Reiner as a failure. We also get a whole slew of younger characters that are Eldians that are on their way to perhaps inherit some of these powers. Zeke says he has about a year left, and then the Armored Titan with Reiner as well will be passed on to somebody. And within this group of new characters, I think the one that will be the most important is Reiner's niece, named Gabby. And she is all gung-ho about this. She is the one that helped them win to take over the base at the beginning of the volume, and she seems very much brainwashed and conditioned into that idea that everyone else is a beast, a monster, and that, you know, she is doing things for the betterment of the Marley group. And it just gets into one of those ideas of just like the propaganda and manipulation, and you know, we've seen things like this before. Again, I think there is a lot of like World War II imagery in Attack on Titan. I've always said Attack on Titan to me feels like a series about war, and now seeing the type of technology that they're introducing, seeing like the armbands that they're forced to wear, the fact that they're forced to be behind these gates and everything, the persecution and the manipulation, like I really get that like Nazi Germany vibe coming from Marley. And the thing about it is like, I wouldn't even say, it's too early to say, but I wouldn't think that everybody within Marley is like an evil, horrible person. I think it's just, again, the conditioning that they're brought up with. They're brought up to hate the Eldians. You know, they're brought up to see them as monsters, as beasts, as devils, because apparently the Titan thing started from a deal with the devil. So it's not really their fault in a way. You know, I have the empathy for them because I understand that if you're brought up from a young age and you're never questioned it, and the whole world seems to be focused on one kind of world and viewpoint, that you wouldn't question it. You would just accept it as fact because that's how it's been fed to you your entire life. So in a way, they're not doing anything that is wrong to them. It's just the justification behind it. So the powers that be, the people in charge, you know, and probably not even all the people in charge. It's just one of those sick things where, you know, until a change is made, there can't be a change because you don't even have the awareness for a change. And so it all kind of culminates when Reiner is at dinner with his family and Gabby, and she's talking about, you know, how the great strides that she's made in becoming a warrior, and they ask Reiner about his experiences on the island with our main group of characters that we know. And this is one of the most profound moments in the volume because Reiner, she's like, you know, what are some examples of them being devils, you know, these horrible, evil people that we've been brought up to hate? Tell us about them, you know, being with them, living with them. And Reiner's like, yeah, they were horrible. You know, the one girl took a potato and ate it in front of the commander when he didn't want her to. And you know, there was this friendship that they followed this guy that wanted revenge, and they were very loyal and all of these things. And him just talking about these very mundane, small moments that stood out to him that are not bad, that are humanizing, that are moments that make you realize that these are people, you know, not monsters. And he's saying that as his whole family is like looking at him like you know, expecting him to tell him these horrible stories about how they're barbarians and savages and all this stuff, and he's just telling these little, you know, minute details, and then he's like, oh wait, I should stop. And it's just this very awkward moment, and the only one, and they're all kind of like, you know, don't say what you're saying, because I mean, it could be considered treason, it could be considered, you know, you could be considered a spy or something like that. Like, there's so many reasons why he would not want to be doing what he's doing, but he saw things from the other side, and so he's just letting it out. He's just broken with it, you know. And Gabby's like, wait, aren't they all monsters, you know? And of course she gets confided by the rest of his family that's like, yes, they are, you know. Don't he's been through a lot, he's been traumatized a bit, like it's okay, but yeah, they're all monsters. And then in the final bit, in the final chapter of this volume, we see Reiner's struggle and his training when he was a young child to become this great warrior for Marley and everything. And so to me, this chapter did two things. One, it showed that Reiner was brainwashed like everybody else from the propaganda and tried so hard to do this thing for his family, for his people, for his mother and everything. And now as an adult, he's reflecting back on it with the regret, with the understanding at least that there's something off here, there's something wrong, I might have made a mistake. Him as a child not caring that if he got the Titan power he would only live 13 years until he died, but now, you know, as that time's approaching, he's thinking very much differently about it. As well, in the flashback with him and Bertold, it cuts to a image of Aaron and Armin, seeing the kind of like the parallels between the two, right? Especially now the fact that, you know, Bertold was the Colossus Titan, and now Armin is the Colossus Titan. So they both had a friend that kind of had their back, that was seeing their kind of quest to be this great person, this great fighter, this great warrior that Reiner wanted to be, and that Aaron wanted to be the great Survey Corp, you know, fighter, you know, killing all the Titans. And so it parallels each other, that they were both kind of indoctrinated in different ways. Now, I would say that the Marley group is obviously a lot more vicious with the way that they use their propaganda and brainwash people, whereas the Survey Corps was more, I mean, there's an element of it to that, but that's kind of what you get with like any kind of military source. There's always kind of the it's not, I don't, it's gonna sound worse than what I'm trying to mean, but I mean like the whole like indoctrination and like, you know, the training and everything, and like committing you to like see like the value in fighting for this just cause, right? Because you wouldn't want doubts, you wouldn't want people to second guess it, you wouldn't want people to back out of it, right? So like you do what you can within your power to present this as much of a heroic thing as it possibly can be. And yes, it absolutely can be heroic, but there is also a dark side to it. There's also the dark side of the following orders without, you know, using your own kind of moral compass to decide, is this something I should be doing? Are we actually fighting for a just cause? Which in the Marley case, from their perspective, they are, but from the rest of the world, you could kind of see that it's all about just that power and control. And is there a right answer? Who knows? Who the hell knows? So anyway, so yeah, I did really like this volume, but like I said, sometimes I have a hard time keeping track of everything that is happening because there are so many kind of minute things that happen in Attack on Titan. I don't know if it's just me, because I read Hunter x Hunter and I can understand like the aspects of Nen like that, which are super complicated to some people, but then I read Attack on Titan and I'm like, wait, so okay, you eat the Titan, become that, okay, then 13 years, yeah, it's just like, I don't know why. Like the Attack on Titan thing to me is like more confusing. I don't know why, but I think I at least have an idea or a perspective on the themes that are being presented, and at least the emotional character moments, like everything that's happening with Reiner and his thoughts and where he is in the world right now and his backstory. I at least understand from an emotional level where the character is coming from, and I think I understand as an overall theme of power and manipulation and control, as we had the Uprising arc that was very much about that, and now it's kind of continuing as it's expanding into understanding the rest of the world and everything that's happening with Attack on Titan. So you guys let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you thought of this review. Let me know what you think of volume 23 of Attack on Titan. It is the first volume to not feature our main characters, so no Eren, Levi, Mikasa, anybody like that. This was all focused on Reiner and the Marley group and everything happening here. So I think that was a nice change of pace. I think it was cool to see other workings of the world and how things are happening, and what the ramifications of that are for our main characters, or you know, like Reiner, like one of the main dudes from the original group, and where he's at now in his mindset, you know, the back and forth that he's had. So let me know what you guys think about Volume 23. Put all your thoughts, comments down below. Moving forward, I'm excited for it to get back to the island, just to see what they have been doing with this time skip. So in the last 4 years, have they expanded? Are the walls down? How are they defending the beaches? Like they were saying, none of the ships ever came back or anything like that. So I'm wondering what they're doing. I'm wondering where the 9th and final Titan is, who it is, where it could pop up, when it would possibly pop up. So we'll see about that. And yeah, I'm excited to get to more volumes, so you might get another review later. Anyways, like this video, comment, subscribe, stick around if you want to see more reviews. Thank you very much, as always, for supporting the channel. I'll talk to you next time.